Welcome back to another Painting Classic Cars. In this video we're going to be looking at a 1977 Lincoln. Now, in the past few videos the topic of value of the car versus the value of the work has come up a few times, as in why spend that much on a car that's only worth X amount. There's lots of different reasons obviously, and this video is a real prime example of that. It's a great story, a great backstory. The car came into the UK, was imported in 1992, and shortly after that became a fairly large part of our customers' family. It was used for a little while, as you can see in white, and it had a full bare metal repaint in 99/2000. As you can see from the images, they didn't do anything with these have got a padded vinyl roof on the back of them, only half the roof at that, and that was left alone. So I had the bare metal repaint in 99/2000, after which it was used in plenty of shows, and our customer used it for his own high school, secondary school, prom in 2001. The car was then parked up in 2007, where it laid until it was handed down to our customer, so handed down through the family, in 2022, where it was unearthed, cleaned up, where it looked quite presentable, but there's obviously some issues going on under there. So this video looks into what was found, what was done, and as I say, it's a great case of the true value of this car is an emotional one to the family rather than a monetary one. So helps explain why people do what they do, I suppose. So we'll get on now and we'll go through a series of images showing you what we've done with the car. As I say, the car came into the UK painted white with a tan roof, as you can see with the images here, and then it went through its bare metal repaint. Note the masking here, which covers up the padded vinyl roof on the back of the car, so this area was left untouched, but the rest of it was quite extensively gone too, and you can see it's all nice clean steel before the repaint. The car then, as I say, went into storage in 2007, where it lay dormant for a good number of years before our customer had it handed down to him, brought down from Yorkshire down to the south, where it looked really clean, but you can see underneath the padded roof here that things are moving around, and with a little bit of further probing the corrosion became evident. So the customer gave us a call, brought the car down, and we got stuck into it. The corrosion was really heavy underneath the vinyl roof, across the back and down through the rear quarters, so extensive work was clearly needed. With the glass out, all the trim out, things weren't getting any better. But the steel, as I say, the steel in these cars is really quite thick. So we had a lot to work with here, and set about cutting out the panels and fabricating and rolling up a new section. So this is the rear apron, rear screen scuttle. It had to be made in two pieces because of the sheer length of it. We don't have a folder quite long enough to cut the shape. So that was TIG welded down the middle, passed through the English wheel, with a fair bit of time taken because you've got quite a few different curves here. We've got a concave and a convex curve, and also obviously the cutback for the screen aperture. So quite a lot of work there, cutting that out, zinc epoxy primed all the way through before moving on to the quarter panels. Quite a large section, as you can see, cut out here. This was all, they're quite angular, so the repair section was relatively straightforward to fold up. Again, keeping with a 1.2mm steel, and butt welding everything into position. Epoxy coating as we go behind, including some repairs to the porthole windows, which is quite a common thing in this stage of the 70s. All linish back, flush fitting, butt welded and sealed and primed from below. Now, just to preempt the likely comments coming, yes, the roof skin does have heavy corrosion, oxidization across the top of it. Surprisingly, I mean, you've got to bear in mind this steel is thick on these old cars. We're talking 1.2mm. So yeah, there is surface corrosion across the top of the roof. It's quite heavy in places. And we had to approach that quite sympathetically because yes, the customer does have a budget, and it's quite a sensible budget, but there is a limit as to how many exotic holidays, kitchen refits and summer houses a man can offer his wife. So there had to be a line drawn. And the roof, whilst it looks pretty bad, isn't as bad as it looks, but yes, there are issues there, and yes, things will come back. What we did with the roof is we were really aggressive with the twist knot wire wheel, cleaned that really aggressively back. And there were one or two areas where it had actually broken through. So once we'd hit it hard with the wire wheel, we then were quite heavy with a pick and made any possible hole a hole. I think there was 8 or 9 possibly, which were then drilled out, oversized and plug welded. Cool as it goes to minimise any distortion. We then hit it again for the 3rd time with the wire wheel, and then a heavy application of anti-corrosion rust inhibitor, acid rust inhibitor. From this point, we've then coated in 2 heavy coats of epoxy, Noval Classic Car epoxy. Then we've levelled it out with Noval's Elastifiber, which is an elasticated fiberglass resin. Superb product. We'll probably do something on this at a later date. And then another coat of epoxy before the primer, colour, clear coat and the vinyl roof. Discussions held with the customer throughout. He's very aware that there are potential issues still coming through with the roof at a much later date. We've done everything we can to ensure that this will last as long as possible. But with all things, you have to be pragmatic at some point, and the customer was kept informed throughout, given all the options, and reskinning the roof at this stage wasn't an option. So yes, there is marking there. Yes, there are potential issues coming through, but everyone's fully aware. And we've done everything we can within budget to ensure that this lasts a good long time. While a MIG was in the hand, we also carried out a small repair on the front of the wing here, just below the belt line, bumper line. The indicator side repeater panel had corroded through quite badly, so a new one was fabricated and again stitched but welded into position. With this done, the paintwork was completed, including the boot lid. So the roof, rear quarters, boot lid, and the front offside wing painted and the car fully assembled. It then went over to CA Upton's in Hastings to have the padded vinyl roof retrimmed, which really sets it off, breaks these cars up wonderfully. One of the reasons the corrosion was there was the chrome waistline trim across the top there was riveted into position. We did away with the rivets, welded this up to ensure no more moisture could get into the roof. All done, back with a very happy owner. That's it for another week. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll be back soon with some more videos. How arty.